This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com/Psychetruth.
Hello, my name is Erinda, and today I'll be guiding you through this video to experience gentle yoga to relieve lower back pain. This will be a very beginner-friendly class, but also great for seasoned yogis and anyone really experiencing any back pain issues or stiffness. So stick around and I hope you enjoy. For this video, you'll need a yoga mat and a block, which if you don't have one, you can use a book, a thick book, as well as a yoga strap. And if you don't have one, you can just use a scarf. We'll get started with some very gentle spinal stretches, starting with the neck. So go ahead and drop your right ear to the right shoulder and let the left side of your neck stretch long. Take a nice big breath here. And then slowly release the chin down toward your chest, making a neck roll, a half neck roll. Making your way over to the left side, left ear to the left shoulder. Pause and take a nice big breath. We'll do one more going the other way. Release your chin down all the way to the other side, and then complete the neck roll going back. This is a very nice, simple stretch you can do first thing in the morning when you wake up. And we'll continue with our spinal stretches. Release the arms to the side. As you inhale, bring them up overhead, lengthening the spine. Feel nice and tall here. On the exhale, flip the palms and slowly bring them down. And continue to move your chin the same way as the hands are. So as you inhale, arms, hands, and chin go up. And on the exhale, they come down. So starting to sync the breath to the movement. Lovely. And now we're going to move into a spinal twist. So keeping the legs as they are, inhale, bring your arms back up. And on the exhale, twist your torso toward your right knee. And then release your arms down. Front hand rests on that right knee. Right hand goes behind you on the floor. As you inhale, press the hands down and lift toward the top of your head, toward the ceiling. Breathe here. And if there's a little space in your body, look over to that right shoulder, to the back. And staying in this spinal twist, bring just the chin forward. And look down to your left knee for a breath, a little double twist. Release the hand that's behind you, bring it over, crossing it in front of your chest, and grab the other knee. As you inhale, press the palms down, lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, start to fold over your arms. Let your head be heavy, and then slowly roll up the spine. And we'll just continue on for the other side. As you inhale, bring your arms up. As you exhale, twist over to your left. Arms come down slowly. And again, press the hands down, lengthen the spine toward the ceiling. And then find a little more depth in your twist, looking over that left shoulder for the back. And we'll move on to the double twist. So staying in your spinal twist, bring your chin forward and then down, looking toward the knee. This should feel nice, as a nice stretch on the left side of your neck. Bring that hand that's behind you, cross it over and grab your right knee. Inhale, press down. Exhale, slowly fold, just rolling the spine here. Let your head be heavy as you come back up. And then release your knees, extend the arms up overhead once again. And exhale, bring them down. We'll continue by stretching and moving the lower back. So hands will stay on the hips, and we're gonna kind of stir the torso over the hips here, going clockwise first. So as you inhale, bring your chest forward, kind of opening. And then continue to move with your breath to the right. And as you start to exhale, shift to the back, rounding your spine, and to your left. And then continue. We'll do one more in this direction. Inhale as you go forward. Exhale as you go back. And you can also move the neck and the head the same way as the chest is. At the end of that exhale, pause and reverse 2 circles the other way. So as you're doing this, make sure that your sits bones are grounded on the mat so we can get to stretch the lower back. This is also very nice for the digestive system. You can do this very gentle stirring when you've had a big meal. You kind of want to move it around for digestion. Okay? And so from here, I'm gonna shift over to the side for some cat and cows. From here, we'll transition to a tabletop. So spread your fingers wide and bring the hands about shoulder distance apart, and then walk the knees back. So you're creating these nice 90-degree angles with your body. Bring your knees hip distance apart. And if it feels right with your feet, you can tuck the toes under or release the tops of the feet. From here, inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, lift the chin. You can look up. On the exhale, round the spine, allow the chin to come toward the chest and look down. Continue for 2 more rounds here. Inhale, looking up, and exhale, looking down. These are really nice, simple stretches that you can do even in your bed before you even get out of bed in the morning. And for the next 2, we're gonna kind of wiggle the tail here side to side. So allow the hips to come over to the right, and the right ear comes to the right shoulder. You're kind of creating a little side shape with your body, and then the other side. So allow these movements of the spine to be a little more intuitive. It doesn't really matter what it looks like. You're still doing cat and cows with the spine, but you're kind of adding a little side twisting. From there, we're going to transition into a child's pose. So bring your knees a little wider, almost mat distance apart, toes toward each other, and slowly lower your hips toward your heels. Extend your arms long and let your forehead lower down to the mat. If the mat feels too far, you can use your block and create a little shelf for your forehead. Let yourself here feel heavy and supported. You can give your forehead a little massage by gently rocking the head side to side. You can also get a bit of a shoulder stretch by extending your arms up more and then bringing your palms toward your shoulders. So you're bending your elbows and gently pressing behind your neck here. Take another nice big breath. And then release your hands and gently walk your palms toward the right side, keeping the legs and the knees where they are. And with your next breath, slowly moving the arms toward the left side. And this gets us a bit more in the thoracic spine, in that middle back, right by the shoulders. And slowly come back to center. And take 1/3 breath here. Take one more nice big breath here in child's pose, allowing your hips to be heavy, slowing down completely. And then we'll make our way up to a downward facing dog, very slowly and gentle. So start to walk your hands closer to your forehead, still keeping them about shoulder distance apart, and start to lift your forehead Bring your knees a little closer to each other. And from there, lift the hips, tuck the toes, and being mindful of your back, your lower back. Slowly lift the knees and lift the hips up. And if you need to adjust here, walk the hands a little farther. Press the feet down, just adjust your body here. If this is the first time you're coming to this downward facing dog pose, be gentle with yourself. Allow the knees to bend, as this gives a little more space to the lower back, especially if the hamstrings are feeling tight. And you can very gently shake the head here. And from here, we'll walk forward to a ragdoll pose. So look at your hands and start to walk your feet toward the front. And bring your feet a little wider, just behind your hands, and bring your knees to a big bend. So allow them to be really nicely bent here. From there, grab your opposite elbows and lift your hips a little higher, bring in a little more weight to the toes. Now, if this feels like you're gonna fall forward, just release your hands. Grab yourself, there you go, and then allow that weight to come forward to the toes. And we're purposefully keeping our knees bent here to provide space for the lower back. Another option is to grab your elbows behind your knees so you can kind of hug your thighs nice and tight. Gently shake the head, yes and no. If you have your forearms in front of your knees, you can sway your upper body side to side. And from here, grab your block and bring it right in front of you. And bring your hands on the block, slowly lift your torso up here to a halfway lift. So if your hamstrings will allow it right now, go ahead and straighten your legs and lengthen the spine. Take a nice big breath. And on the exhale, come on back down to your fold with your bent knees, and we'll come up very slowly, stacking one vertebra on top of the other. So we're starting with a tailbone and then going all the way up to the head. The head will be the last thing to come up. So using your breath, engage your core and slowly roll up the spine, allowing your arms to be heavy. You can take it as slow as possible here. Imagine each one of your vertebrae stacking on top of the other as you're creating space for them with each breath. Wonderful. And eventually, the head will stack over the shoulders and lift your chin up. Open your chest, drop your arms behind you. Take a nice big breath here. And then release, coming back to a standing pose. Now from here, we will continue with a very gentle sun salutation. So we'll start at the top of the mat, and I'm going to leave my block at the top of the mat in case I want to use it, so you can do the same. And bring your feet hip distance apart. Ground all four corners of your feet, and then soften the knees. So if you tend to lock your knees, that can compromise the lower back in the long run. So make sure they're nice and soft. And keep a neutral pelvis. And this looks something like pointing the tailbone down. If you had a water bowl in your belly and you don't want to spill it, either forward, this would be overly forward, or backward. You want somewhere in the middle, okay? So relax your arms to the side, relax the shoulders, coming to your mountain pose. Exhale here. As you inhale, extend your arms, finding length in the entire body here. Try to reach your fingertips up and bring your palms together. Bring a little bend to the knees, and you fold, hinging at the hips. Slowly fold down. Release your hands either on your shins or on the block. As you inhale, engage the core and half lift. So we're intentionally taking it really slow here to really listen to our body and our lower back. From there, fold again, maybe get the block out of the way. Bring your hands on the mat and walk your feet one at a time back to a high plank atop of a push-up. We're gonna make it a little more gentle and bring our knees down. So our upper body is still engaged right here. but our lower body is supported with our knees on the mat. So take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, slowly lower down. Slowly lower down. And we'll come to a Cobra Pose. So untuck the tops of your feet on the mat. Press the tops of the feet and the glutes down. On your inhale, lift up. On the exhale, tuck the toes, hinge the hips back, and come back up to your downward facing dog. Walk your feet just a little closer to your hands. Take a nice big breath and soften the knees here. Allow the chest to come a little closer to the thighs. Shake the head. And look at the front of your mat between your hands. Start to walk your feet toward your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Hands on either the shins, the mat, or the block. Exhale, fold and soften. On an inhale, we'll roll up the spine again, so bend your knees a little more, and then slowly come up to standing. And we'll roll right into the second round here. Inhale, extend your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips with softened knees. Inhale, halfway lift. By engaging the core in this pose, we protect the lower back. Exhale, fold and arrive in your supported plank, walking the feet back. Straightening the body and then lowering the knees first, then lowering the chest second. Inhale, come on up to your Cobra Pose. And exhale to your downward facing dog. And take a nice big breath here. And then slowly lower to your child's pose once again. So this time we're going to make a bit of a different child's pose. We'll bring our knees together, feet together, and then lower the hips down toward the heels. And we'll bring our arms around and allow the tops of the palms to come up. Let the forehead reach the mat or the block. And give yourself a little time here for 3 nice slow breaths. This child's pose is very soothing for the nervous system, and it gives space to the lower back to stretch. So just allow yourself here to rest, to feel held and supported. A lot of our back pain is also stress just for modern day life. So slowing down is a good start. And after that next breath, we will slowly come on up to a seat. So go ahead and bring your hands by your forehead and slowly peel yourself up, rounding the spine and arriving in Hero's Pose. And we'll take 3 slow breaths here in Hero's Pose, allowing for our body to adjust to being seated from being folded forward. So feel free to close your eyes if that feels nice and soothing for your body. And just take 3 slow breaths, giving yourself a pause. And you can imagine any stiffness or tightness in the body just releasing to the ground as you exhale. Allowing your shoulders to soften away from the ears. And just noticing, how does your body feel in this moment right now? Just sending your breath to every spot in the body that needs it. And slowly open your eyes. And we'll transition to seated. So lean over to one side and release your feet from underneath. And since we were sitting on our feet, let's stretch them out a little bit. So holding yourself seated, just windshield wipe your feet side to side or rotate the ankles. On the other side. And we'll transition to laying on our back into a bridge pose. So bend your knees and bring your feet hip distance apart. Also grab the block before you recline. So make sure your block and your strap is in reach. Okay. And from there, keeping your feet hip distance apart, your knees bent, slowly lower down. And as you lower down, make sure that your spine feels long. And from there, walk your feet a little closer to your glutes. Maybe you can touch your heels with your fingertips and keeping your neck long. So you might want to look at this section before you actually do it to avoid moving the head or the neck. Okay, so we'll do it 2 times. First time you can watch it, and then the second time we can do it together. Okay, so from here, make sure you can reach for your block if you need it. On an inhale, slowly, very slowly lift the pelvis up, lift the hips up. And as you lift, there's a little space for the shoulders that can come underneath the chest. So you can stay here, or if you need a little more support, bring the block underneath the lower back. And you can choose the height of the block. I'm gonna start with the lowest setting, and then I can change it to the higher setting. So this is a very, very gentle lift. You can feel a little supportive. The other option is the other height of the block. There you go. So if you are using a block, make sure that it goes on your sacrum, which is that flat bone at the base of the spine. And this block should not hurt in any way. If it does, just remove it. And once the hips are up, make sure that the thighs are staying parallel to each other, the knees, okay? Now, if you're doing this unsupported, you might want to do it for a little shorter amount of time. If you are supporting your lower back, you can stay here for a little bit longer. Okay. So I'm going to come down and we'll do it again together. To come out of this pose, you inhale to lift the hips, remove the block, and then very slowly roll the spine down. Okay. Once the spine is down, then you're safe to kind of move the neck side to side. All right, so when you're ready, keeping your thighs parallel, on an inhale, slowly lift your hips up, up, up. And if you're choosing to stay unsupported, you can stay there for 3 breaths. If you want to bring a block, bring the block underneath you for 3 or more. So I'm just gonna go with 3 for now. And then slowly roll the spine down. Okay. And once the lower back is down, you can windshield wipe the knees side to side. Now for this next pose, it's going to be a reclined pigeon stretch or a hip stretch. So we'll use a strap for this. Make sure you can reach your strap. And we're going to make a figure 7 with the right leg to begin. So the right foot, the right ankle is going to come on top of the left thigh. And from here, using your right hand, press the right thigh away, and this is going to create a little space, a little stretch in your right hip flexor. So if you can reach the back of the left thigh, you can just use your hands. Otherwise, use a strap and bring it behind your left thigh. Okay? So it's important to keep this right thigh away from you. So there's a bit of an opposition. Right thigh goes away, left comes in. And go ahead and take 3 nice big stretches. Engage your toes on the right foot to protect the left knee. And just feel this out. If there's more space in your body, you can bring it closer to you. If you're feeling really tight in the lower back and the piriformis or the glutes, you can keep it a little farther. What's important is that your lower back is actually staying on the mat. You're not lifting it. On an exhale, slowly release the foot. I'm just going to bring this foot down on the left for just a breath into the spinal twist. And we'll unwind and transition to the other side. So right foot down, left ankle on the right thigh. Pressing this left thigh away, reach for your right thigh, with or without a strap, and take 3 slow breaths here. Notice, how does this pose feel in your body? Where are you feeling the stretch? Even with very gentle little shifts in the stretch, you'll feel the difference. And then slowly release the right foot and slide the left to the right side for a quick little stretch. Okay, we'll unwind again. Release the left leg down, and for this last stretch with using the legs, we're gonna bring our feet up for happy baby. So bring your knees a little farther apart and let your bottoms of the feet come up. Now, if you can reach your ankles, grab the ankles or the heels, but keep your lower back down on the mat. So if the lower back starts to lift, just slide your hands down. And you can bring your knees a little farther apart and just very gently sway side to side. This is a nice little massage for the lower back, as well as the digestive system. You can rock side to side here. Also kind of the silliest yoga pose. So just let yourself be silly for a moment. And from there, pause, bring your legs together, your knees together, give yourself a nice tight squeeze. And then for the final resting pose, our Shavasana, you have 2 options. You can either go closer to a wall and just bring your legs up the wall. This can be very, very relaxing for the lower back. Or you can just take traditional Shavasana and extend your legs all the way down on the mat, which is what I'm gonna do right now. So relax your spine, maybe shuffle a little bit until you find that place where you can just release and close your eyes, and we'll take 1 big breath together. Go ahead and breathe in, the biggest breath you've taken all day. Let your belly expand full of air. And then open mouth, let it go. And you're welcome to stay here in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. Just letting yourself integrate this practice and letting your body and mind rest. When you are ready to come out of Shavasana, just start with some very gentle movements of the fingers and toes. And then a full body stretch like you're just waking up. And slowly bring your knees to your chest again to lean over to one side. And softly lifting yourself up to your seat. And we will close this practice with a big breath like we did in the beginning. Inhale, lift your arms up and extend. And as you exhale, lower your hands down and just bring them in Anjali Mudra or prayer pose right in front of your heart. And take a moment here to appreciate your heart, appreciate your body, and send some love to your lower back. Thank you so much for practicing yoga with me today. Namaste. Thank you so much for tuning in today with me. I really hope you enjoyed this class, and I would love to hear back from you. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this class, if it helped you with your lower back, and any other yoga practices you'd like to see from me. You can join me for more yoga videos on our Yoga Plus app, as well as on Amazon Prime. And you can connect with me directly at erinda.yoga or on social media at Yoga with Erinda. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Many of our subscribers don't see our videos. Make sure that you click the notification bell. And if you haven't already, follow us on social media for tips, tutorials, giveaways, and daily inspiration.